Yes. The rendering of criminal assistance with intent to prevent, hinder, or delay the apprehension or prosecution of another person who he or she knows has committed a crime. Oh, now this crime of taking my sons without any due process, yes, it's a real crime. Ouch. Now, I had my record expunged on July 2nd. She took my sons, yes. And it would have been 1 year from that. I didn't, well, I spent 10 days in jail, but it was because I had no place to live. Yes. See, you had to have an actual address, and they took my passport when I was on Guam. Yeah. I think 10 days was too long to spend in jail for the allegation of gross misdemeanors. Yes. Considering I didn't commit any crime. Oh. The island territory of the United States of America known as Guam. Yeah. They're going to find out I was a little upset about that. Now, these declarations, yes, under the penalty of perjury. Yeah. When a wife does not protect a husband's right to custody of his sons, and you decide to issue court orders where I wasn't a resident and I didn't get the when and where the court hearing was going to be. Yeah. Now there was the whole question of proof of service. Now I'm thinking, okay, on October 7th of 2011, yeah. Usually these court orders, known as the permanent court orders, yes. Was it? Well, the probation officer that served me, yes. I don't think that that was actually. Now I can get a copy of it. Did it say on or before the next day the Clallam County Sheriff's Department was going to serve me? Or as another third party or somebody? See, we can look at exactly how do you serve somebody in a United States territory that is not a state of the United States, a court order where you did not protect their right to due process. Ooh. Now, well, you can get a copy of it if you're see service order by mail or publication. Private arrangements for service of this order. Is that what it said? You were going to have my probation officer serve me on Guam after you issued it? Oh, you've been holding my sons hostage for, well, July 2nd, August 2nd, September 2nd, 7 years and 2 months. Now, you thought that it was legal for my wife to buy 7 plane tickets, not inform me that she was going to take my sons, have the police called at 7 a.m. on July 2nd of 2011, have me put in jail for the allegation of domestic violence and child abuse. I did what was known as diversion, 7 hours of parenting classes. You can find all the evaluations and the information on the drives that I've been emailing you. And then my record was expunged 1 year later, and you arrested me while I was on probation. I was found not guilty, yes. And you reissued another protection order during that time by minute order. I don't see anywhere in the RCWs or the instructions from the state of Washington that a minute order can be used to issue a protection order. My sons were taken from me, and you issued court orders that violated my rights and their rights. Now, when we look at the 9A, yes, of the RCWs, yes, there's a possibility that the sheriff's department has intentionally been harboring fugitives that they know have committed the crime of child abduction. Now, as much as you might really appreciate my wife as a citizen of the United States, yes, when you don't buy me a plane ticket, right, you make up a story. I do 7 hours of parenting classes. I get evaluated by a professional person of the island territory of Guam, and a drug and alcohol counselor where I had not drank for 20 years or done any drugs. And you sit there saying, well, He's going to motion the court. No, you're going to be found guilty of misprision of treason, pooch, and complicit in helping somebody be not prosecuted for felonies of child abduction and child kidnapping. Now, did you want some more examples of the criminal assistance that you've been giving my wife? Their grandmother, Sandra Taylor, Doug Taylor, Wayne Condit, Lori Argyle, and any other family members that thought they would enrich themselves at my expense. Now, criminal assistance in the first degree, a Class A felony, except as provided in B of this section, rendering criminal assistance first degree is a Class B felony. It's almost like, let's say, the individual that gets convicted that you're giving the criminal assistance to. Heidi gets convicted of a Class B felony of kidnapping, yes, because you issued a court order where I was not given any notice of the dissolution of marriage hearings. You would get convicted of a Class C felony, Judge Rohr. But let's say Heidi gets convicted of a Class C felony, yes, of using forgeries to issue court orders. You would get convicted of a gross misdemeanor. It's almost as if they set these laws up that whatever the actual person that should be prosecuted or apprehended gets convicted of, you get one lesser degree of felony or misdemeanor than the actual. That's how I think they've written this. They get the greater actual conviction, but you get one lesser degree of conviction. Now it's kind of like this. Let's say you decide to reissue the protection order. Yes, with or without the petitioner's signature. Right. And then there's no attempt of service, but the RCW say there has to be an attempt of service. How many judges, court commissioners, and sheriffs have ever got convicted of not enforcing the RCW requirements for the issuance of court orders? Now, I don't know if they have the actual, is it a Class A, B, or C felony, or is it a gross misdemeanor? But I'm thinking that they might have to adjust these for any and all individuals that issue court orders, that if you do not do what the requirements of the law are, you can get arrested for a Class C felony. How would that sound, Brent Baston? And then the individuals that are refusing to apprehend and prosecute the court commissioner that issued this, yes, using a forgery, ooch, there's a Class C felony, ooch, the state court seal, ooch, could be a Class B felony, without the signature of the petitioner. I know it's an alter. You could. Ooh, look at every sheriff and every police officer thinking about like this. Let's say I actually did sue Brent Baston for every known crime that I've documented, and there are various degrees of Class B, C felonies, probably no Class A felonies, that's right. And then maybe some gross misdemeanors and a couple misdemeanors, and then I sue every one of you for one lesser degree of crime than what Brent actually gets convicted for.